I'm Jay, this is Dan, and we're starting Sports Center Sunday mornings off just like every other Sunday morning with some NHL highlights.
What a weekend.
What a weekend it was in the NHL.
The Blue Jackets were in Montreal this weekend.
Sergei Bobrovsky.
Before things got started, they honored an all-time great.
Maurice Rocket Richard.
The Rocket.
Let's hit the clips.
Maurice Richard, born on August 4th, 1921 in Montreal, Quebec, and later died on May 27th, 2000. Maurice was given his first pair of skates at the age of 4. From that point on, hockey was everything to him. He, his parents, and his 7 siblings grew up a low-class family where himself and his father had to work hard to place food on the table for his family. Up until the age of 14, the only hockey known to Maurice was shinny played on the river. From the river to the rink, Maurice moved from a parish team to a juvenile team, to a junior team, then to the tryouts with the Montreal Canadiens.
He's not tough enough for big-time hockey.
Do you see his eyes when he gets close to the net?
He's been injured.
He's in a great camp.
Let's keep Andy Perron.
I want Richard.
Maurice signed a 1-year contract for $3,500, choosing to wear the number 15 for the season of 1942 and 1943. During his first season, Richard broke his leg 16 games in, which created whispers that he would not be strong enough for the next season. During the 1943-44 season, Richard silenced those critics with 32 regular season goals, adding 12 more in the playoffs to guide Les Canadiens to their first Stanley Cup in 13 years. In the 1944-45 season, Richard became the first NHLer to score 50 times in the same season, as well as an NHL record that stood for 30 years by scoring 8 points in a single game. During his hockey career, Maurice Richard gained the nickname The Rocket due to his speed, strength, and determination.
I don't want to see Maurice tonight. I want the Rocket!
Richard changed his number 15 to the number 9 due to the fact that his newborn daughter was 9 pounds. To many, Richard was a national hero, but his NHL career created an uproar with supporting fans, which resulted in what came to be known as the Richard Riot. During this time period, French Canadians felt that they were being treated more harshly than their English counterparts, and it seemed to be evident within the NHL. Richard had been fined numerous times due to his actions performed on the ice, but nothing sparked the fans more than the incident on March 13, 1955, during the game versus the bad Boston Bruins. Richard had been struck over the head with a stick by an opposing Boston player who was not penalized. Richard retaliated by slashing that opposing player back, which caused an on-ice brawl. Richard was then tied up by an official, and still unknown documentation today states that he was then punched by the Boston player while being tied up. Richard felt the linesman was being unjust, and therefore turned around and punched him. Richard's retaliation led to him being suspended for the remainder of the season, and also led to a 20,000-person riot. Through the radio, Maurice asked fans to calm down and to simply stand behind their beloved team.
Well, there's no reason why we cannot finish this game.
There is a riot outside.
We cannot afford to lose. This is Detroit! It's the end of the goddamn season!
We want everybody out.
The riot eventually died down, and the Canadiens finished the season without Richard to fall short of the Stanley Cup. Richard's career was undeniably eventful. He won 8 Stanley Cups in 3 different decades, became captain in the 1956 season, scored the most career points at the time, and appeared in 14 straight All-Star games. After retiring in 1960, all these contributions led the Hall of Fame to waive the usual 3-year waiting period and immediately inducted Richard in 1961. Maurice the Rocket Richard will never be forgotten.
Man, was he a great.
Oh yes, Maurice Richard. He filled stadiums with spectators as consistently as he filled the back of the net with rubber. Gosh, so inspiring. Guess there's only one thing left to do. Right, Dan?
Right.
Dance.
Dance.
Dance.